Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Ravenport Farm on the Start From Scratch difficulty. Well, this is going to be a long episode and there is a ton of stuff to do, so I'm going to get right to it. And I'm going to try to make sense and keep everything in order. No promises though. You know I can be a little bit excitable. So, what do we got going on? Well, we got a lot of things going on. First thing is we have a cover crop on here. I planted oilseed radish a few episodes ago, and we've got our worker plowing that under and planting grass, and everything will be made clear to you in a moment why we're doing that. This is what the weeds look like when they're dead, by the way. If you don't get them when they're small, they sort of stay in the crop. They don't really go away until you plow them under. So that's a nice feature. I think that's kind of realistic, maybe. Right, so we are, what do I want to show you first? Let me show you the money first. Show me the money. We have 1 million euro, and I earned it the hard way. Sweet monkey. Look at that. Contract income. Grinding, baby. Grinding out ridiculous fertilizer missions. That's the secret. And we'll come back to that. So our loan is paid down to 0, and our bank balance is €1 million, our checking account balance. And where is the... Is it that one? Is it that one? Look at that. 25 hours. 25 hours. Last time I recorded was Friday, I want to say. Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, I've just been grinding fertilizer missions. And I ground our debt down to 0. We have no more debt, and I ground us up to €1 million. In the words of Pete Townsend, it's actually not very hard at all. It's really not. Start from scratch difficulty. You know, I'm going to throw a little bit of math at you. Not on purpose. Not on purpose, but I'm going to throw some math at you, and I think it will make sense. And I don't have any beef with the game anymore. I'm over it. You know, it's been a couple weeks, and it is what it is. This is our farm sim. So if I sound like I'm whining about the game, I'm not. I'm just laying it out for you as I see it. As I see it. So you remember our plan was we had 500,000 euro to start with. We borrowed 500,000 more. We bought this plot of land. We bought this sheep pen, and we bought some sheep, and we got started, right? Oh, and we bought a tractor. We bought a case, a little case, Maxim. Actually, a 1455, which we traded in for a Maxim, which we have since traded in for a New Holland T6. But bottom line, we had a small tractor, and we just burned through all our money. But it's okay, we're going to make it back. And we were making it back very, very slowly. Right? Our sheep were reproducing, but slowly. They were making wool, but slowly. Right? We tried planting some soybeans in here, and our entire harvest actually made us less than the cost of the rental for the combine harvester to bring it in. So it seemed like all we needed to do was just wait a long time, like seriously 20 or 30 game days, and things would start to pay for themselves. So that is true. That is true. And you can do it either way. You can buy a small plot of land and just farm it over and over and over and make a couple thousand euro net per harvest. But at a couple thousand euro net per harvest, it's going to take you 75 harvests to be able to buy the next 150,000 euro piece of land, which you can then begin harvesting, right? And now you make 3,000 net euro. So now it's only 50 harvests before you can buy the next, etc., etc. However, you do have the missions. And what I've been doing, I have a perfect one right up on top. What I've been doing is taking 8 to 15,000 euro fertilizer missions just over and over and over. And that's it. That's it. I don't see that as cheating. I don't see that as a hack, because it took me many, many hours and many, many sessions. But that's the secret. You can, as an example, you can just buy this sheep meadow and do nothing with it, right? And just let them make wool for dozens and dozens of game days. And eventually you'll have enough sheep that you can start selling them, and they'll make wool fast enough. I think we're up to about 4 pallets a day, which is about 2,400 euro per day in wool, right? That's it. And I'll get moving a little bit here. We'll do some more interesting things. But for me, that's not difficult. That's just tedious. That's just time. You can do the missions or you can just farm very, very slowly. But either way, loan is paid off and we're out of debt, and it's time to make some major expansions today. That's what we're going to do. I got this thing. This is a lime tower, so we don't need to go to the one of the 2 lime selling stations. I got a little workshop back here. Put it back in the corner because we are just absolutely taxing our machines hours-wise. So we were doing a lot of repairs. And let me show you this too. You can see this big pile of grass. This is grass. It's not hay. Our sheep are definitely feeding themselves. And when we check here, first off, we have 74 sheep. They are reproducing. And again, we've got 35, almost 36,000 liters of hay. I only ever put 12,000 in there. I put in 3 4,000 liter bales. And yet, whatever it is, 10, 14 game days later, right? So it's as I said last episode, it's one of 3 things. Either they eat their own grass from the meadow, and at some point maybe we'll have enough sheep that will max out, and there will no longer be enough meadow grass for them. Second possibility is they have extra grass because we put this pasture on grass, right? There was grass in this field when we put the meadow here. And third possibility is it's just it caught on the fence. Son of a, get over it. Or it's just bugged out. Now, here's a problem. I don't know what to do with this because I can't ever put it back in the trough. So this pile of grass is just growing and growing and growing. We'll see. We'll see. You can also see over here that we have, I think this is about 22, 24. Yeah, 4, 8. Yeah, that is 24 pallets of wool. I'm waiting for it to go on great demand. And in the meantime, as the pallets spawn, I just take them over and sell them directly so we keep having room to spawn. Over here, you can see we got a little water tank. This is a good investment. It's 5,000 euro. And you don't pay for the water that comes out of it. I don't know if water costs anything in FS19 because it's free from the creek, from the little river, and it's free once you buy this thing. Both of them make sense in a way. If you get it from nature, right, then that's free. You just take it from a creek. And if you buy this thing, maybe the one-time fee to buy it gives you free water. I don't know. Traded in our little Coon broadcast spreader on this great big broadcast spreader because this also spreads lime, and the little Coon does not. This we had, I didn't talk about it, but we did have the boom sprayer last episode. I bought this thing and a header. I used it for a couple harvesting missions, but I'm sort of addicted to the high dollar missions. And if you take a 10 or 12 or 15,000 euro harvesting mission, it's going to be on a pretty big field. And I tried it with this and it took hours and hours. So yeah, only use that for little fields. The tipper we had, as you saw, the subsoiler you had, as we saw, and where is it? There he is. And we had this this drill last episode as well. And then the only other thing that's different is we traded out our little Case Maxim for this little T6. Right. That's all the preamble. I'm bringing you up to speed. That's everything you need to know. What are we going to do with our €1,000,000? We're going to buy some shit right now. So we go to the map. And this is going to be another, I'm going to throw some math at you here as we do this. This piece of property right here is clearly the piece of property that they want you to buy to start the game because it's the place most suitable to build your farm. I wish there were several of these scattered around the map and you could decide where you wanted to buy your farm. So this one is in a valley, maybe another one on a hilltop, maybe another one in the city, right? So that's not the case. You just get this one. It's 360,000 euro. We may or may not buy it, and there's a couple good reasons why we would buy it, and there's a couple good reasons not to buy it. So if we buy this, and if we started with this one, we would get these 3 fields, 24, 25, 26. You can see that 24, 25, and 26. In fact, let me come off the highlight so you can see it more clearly. Field 24, 25, and 26 combined are not as big as 20 and 21 combined, even after we take out the area of the sheep meadow. So had we started with this area here, right, same thing. Our maximum yield from fields 24, 25, and 26 really wouldn't be very good. We would net maybe 1 or 2,000 euro per harvest, if that. So 360 for the land, approximately 100,000 for a small tractor, puts us at 460. That leaves 40,000 euro. And I'm talking about not if we never borrowed money. So you might be able to not be in debt, but with these 3 fields down here, 24, 25, and 26, the most you could net is a couple thousand euro per harvest. Without seasons, you can do a harvest every day if you crank up the crop growth. But the idea of using seed, lime, fertilizer, and herbicide, you're going to have some money invested in every harvest. You're only going to make 1 or 2,000 euro. So it's just a question of harvesting over and over and over and over. Or you can do what we did with the sheep meadow. You can do the same thing with the dairy. And then it's just time. I also tried some trees. I cut down some trees. And same thing. You could do that if you wanted to, but you would need to borrow so much money for big equipment to do it on a larger scale. And the yield, again, wouldn't be that great. You wouldn't be doing it on an industrial scale. You would be doing it for maybe 8 or 10,000 euro per day. At that rate, it's going to take you forever. So I really feel like the missions are the only way out if you want to make money. And it's not that you abuse them, but what the hell else are you going to do? So I'm going to stay on start from scratch difficulty in the long term for the crop pricing, but it's really not difficult. Just grind a bunch of missions, make the money, and then you're good. So my point is, if we buy this land down here, there are some things that we can do with it that we really, come back, that we really can't do anywhere else. However, it's very expensive, and it's really not going to do a lot for us. But there's some things that I want to show you. So, well, I mean, we can just grind more money with the mission. So let's go ahead and buy it. And we do. So the first thing that I want to buy for that area is this. It's a silo. And I'm going to get the big one. It's double the volume for less than double the price. That is a good deal for me. So let's scoot down here. Sorry about the motion sickness. But this thing fits incredibly well right here. Is it here? No, it's right here. Right here. Give me some green right there. That just looks like it's meant to be there. That is perfect. So, boom, down it goes. And the reason I want to put that there is, even though it was almost 200,000 euro, what that lets us do is bank our crop and sell it at a higher price. So as it stands right now, anything that we take out of this field, or any other field for that matter, we have to sell immediately because we have no place to store it, so we're not getting the best price. And we're also not selling in large volume. So that's why I wanted to get that. Now, what do we have left? 515. I also want to get a bigger tractor. And that is going to be the T7. It is. And we're going to do this. We're going to put the big motor in it. We're going to go with, you know, this is kind of a narrow map, kind of a small map. I think we'll go with wide tires, but we're not going to go with double tires. So we do that. Takes us down to 260. I want to get a weight for this tractor. And this is my favorite weight right now. This tap, tap, tap. You can hear me tap, tap, tapping. This fella right here. I really do like that one. I'd like it more if the lights worked, but what can you do? In the interest of realism, we're going to run to the store and not teleport. But I think this is, the best way to go as far as how we want to move forward from here, or at least how I want to move forward from here. And the other thing that's interesting is, when you buy that piece of land down there, you get completed. I'll have to go back in there and restart them. When you buy that piece of land down there, you only get half of that valley as far as places to put things. So if you want to have access to the whole floor of the valley, you have to buy the other half as well, Field 19, which is another 180,000 euros. So I don't want to say I'm frustrated with it. It's just like the map, the game kind of guides you to a specific series of behaviors, which are, you know, it's like you have a choice, but you really have no choice at all. You're going to do it this way. And at that point, I think, why don't they just give you the land to start with, since there's really no other place to start with on the map? What do we want to do here? What do we want to take with us? I'm trying to think what we're going to need. We're going to need a bunch of stuff. And as soon as I buy this next thing, you're going to see where we're headed. You're going to know what's coming next. Right. So we'll take that guy. You know what's coming. Yeah, you do. So, it's over here. Back it up. Perfect. So I will get our worker restarted, and then we'll drive further down the valley, and I'll show you some things down there. And I also, we're going to borrow a little bit of money. Not too much. But again, you know, it's so easy to get out of debt now. You can do 2 to 3 of those, actually more than that. You can do 3 to 4 of those fertilizer missions per real-time hour. So even at the 8,000 euro mark, even on the low side, you can make 32,000 euro in an hour. Whereas if you own multiple pieces of land, it might take you a couple of harvests to make 32,000 euros. So it's, I don't know. I feel like the economic modeling on this sim sometimes is really kind of haphazard, you know, just kind of lazy, kind of phoned in, as they say. Right. So leave that there. Get this guy going. So it's, I don't know, call it an exploit, call it what you will, but we should not have a problem with. What are you caught on, little buddy? What are you caught on? You got to be really careful placing things in this game as far as the things like the sheep meadow. You know, place it as carefully as you can. And I've gotten in the habit of making a save game, just duplicating my game and putting it on my desktop, because you can't undo a placement. There's no Control Z. So if it sucks once you get it placed, you can't move it. It's there. So I make a save game, and I've placed some things, I mean, really badly. That sheep meadow's not great, but it's not bad. But I've placed some things that are just like eyesore, you know? So do a save game, drop it on your desktop, and if your placement really, really sucks, you can sort it out. Also, I was having some problems with some pixelation and smearing, and I found out that Shadowplay is has a pretty lossy codec and compression, but there are some things you can do, some workarounds under the hood, as they say, and I did. So I hope I have gotten rid of that pixelation and smearing, mostly on the grass and crop textures, but I think I've sorted it out and we're a little bit more crisp. Frame rate is pretty good, and the other thing is the sound levels. I've just got the tractor sound turned down in the meantime, because it does have, now it's very realistic that it gets louder and more quiet. It's realistic when you're playing, but it doesn't necessarily lend itself to recording, I guess, is a good way to say it. It's makes it cool to play, but it can make it a pain in the ass to try to capture. Right. So we own these 3 now. I'm going to plow these 3 together. I did a couple of test maps, and I think that works best because they're so small, and that lets a hired worker just like go to town down here. And there is no place down here to fit a dairy. It's kind of an odd area because, again, it's obvious that they want you to start here, but then when you do, it's kind of, kind of ish. It's not super cool. Right, we're going to put another shed down here, and this one I've found fits very nicely and doesn't get in the way of things too badly if you put it right about, I'm going to turn around here, right about, backing on this field. It's pretty tight, but it's on the long axis so the worker can deal with it. Boom, right there. How do we do on our terrain? Where is it? It's right here. How do we do? Yeah, it's pretty flat. Pretty flat. Good. I'm happy with that. Okay. So I'll do it off camera or next episode, but we're going to plow these fields together, right? And then this is the other property that you have to buy if you want to build in this entire valley. As it stands right now, we can't build any further north than right about somewhere in here. This all belongs to another landowner, but we'll buy this field as well. So I didn't really want to buy these fields, and I'll tell you why. I would have preferred to buy field 22. It's almost bigger in a way, and the only reason I did is because I want some of this other land down here, right? I want to start building out our farm, and this is close enough to our sheep operation. And I think actually, I'm gonna drive all the way back down there. This is not, yeah, it's not terrible. It's got a little bit of a slope. It'll do. It'll do. I'm gonna drive back to the sheep operation, and we got some more big changes to make down that end of the map. I also still, I mean, I've spent enough time in that meadow where the sheep are right now, field, meadow, whatever you want to call it. I've spent enough time down there that I am 100% confident that there's no designated entrance to that area. You just basically like drive over the bushes to get to it. That seems a little, you know what I mean? Seems a little unrealistic. There would be some type of track to get in there, surely. All right, so cut up behind my sign like I do. We'll see how our little worker's doing. And I think there ought to be just about enough room at this point. You know what we're going to do. Do you? I hope you do. How we doing? We got enough progress over here? We got enough room? I think we do. So we're going to go to the bank and we say, pay me my money. Let's borrow 250,000 euro. And again, that is, you can pay that back in about 2 days of grinding missions. It's really, yeah. Anyway, animal pens. You know what time it is. There it is. Boom. The big cow pasture. So, motion sickness, pardon me. We go right over here. And this thing fits very nicely. No, it's not quite ready yet. We're going to need to let our worker make a few more passes. But this thing fits very nicely right back in that corner. In fact, I got it backwards. Let me do it that way. Looks much better, right? And that's why I wanted to put grass back in this field, even though we have, at the moment, we have our oilseed radish. I wanted to let our worker put grass back in it in case having grass under the sheep meadow is what is allowing them to feed themselves. Because, right, that saves us a ton of money if we don't have to keep either buying hay or mowing grass, because they are two different crops. So obviously we're starting a dairy op, so you know we're going to need some other things, and we'll get those going right now. We are going to need use this for the straw blower. Yeah, maybe not though, because this is a lot cheaper. It's like 10% of the price. Okay, so we're going to buy one of those. We're going to buy one of these, and you can actually get it in stainless, which I think is very cool. So we'll take one of those. Thank you very much. What else do we need? I think we can, if we do mow grass, well, we'll do that right now. We can get a mower. If we do mow grass, I think we can just scoop it up with the front loader scoop for the moment. I don't think we need a loading wagon. And what else? What else? I think that's just about it. Yeah, we're running pretty lean. We're running you know what I'm saying? We're not spending a whole lot of money right now, and that's good. But the other thing is we need to, let's lease this thing. And let's also lease a dolly. Right. Let's also lease that. Who's blocked? Who is blocked? You know, I thought about doing this off camera. I thought about cutting all this oilseed radish into grass off camera, but I wanted you to see what I had done off camera and what our plans were to sort of take care of business. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this little stray bit right here. Oh! Terrain deformation. It'll get there. It'll get there. Ain't there yet, though. Alright, so we're going to turn the beacons off. Don't need those. Turn that on. Turn that on. And now we got a stray bit on the end. Oh, game. So let's do this. Trim that off. Make it nice and pretty, nice and neat. Lift that up. It's bushes. I don't want to do this. Let's go this way. Get around here. So I went with, the reason I put grass in here is realistically we are not going to have a crop in here. It's just not, the placement of it, it's just, it would be awkward, and I mean, maybe later when we see what kind of needs our dairy has for grass, because grass is a specific thing that you need to add. And you know what's weird? Let me tell you about OCD, folks. Let me tell you about OCD. You know, when I say I want to play this game realistically, I absolutely do. Now, our sheep have hay. I put hay in, but you can feed them hay or grass. Their floor food is grass. So this whole pile right here is grass, and I could easily feed it to our cows, but I never will. And the reason is, that's how you end up with like a pandemic. That's how you end up with like Patient Zero, Captain Trips, yo, World War Z. The immune systems of sheep and cattle are so different that you want to keep them far apart. That's actually, if you study American history, the history of the American West, people were killed over that, like dozens and dozens of people. If there were dairy cattle or beef cattle in an area and a sheep farmer came in, the dairy cattle or beef cattle farmers would do everything they could to get rid of them, because they were worried, with good reason, that having sheep that close to their cows, to their livestock, would make them sick. Very often it did. So yeah, I mean, I could easily feed that grass to our dairy cows, but I just won't. Something about it, even though it's a game, something about it just, I don't know, man. It's just, don't, oh, okay. Whew. Worried he was going to knock my bales everywhere. Oh, game. So we need to take another row off there. Okay, we can do that. And you do need to, in FS19, there's no magic milk truck that comes around late at night. You do need to take your own milk to the dairy. So that's why I got that tanker. And we're close enough that we can use the water bowser that we have for the sheep. We can use that for the cows as well. And then of course we have our water source on the farm now, or in the meadow, or however you want to say it. So I would like to, where are we at? 29 minutes. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit long today. I would like to get at least one load of livestock to the dairy farm. But to do that, I have to get the dairy farm built, and I can't get the dang meadow. I can't get the oilseed radish out of the meadow to get it. So we're going to get this guy, sorry to spin you in circles like that. We're going to get this guy going one more time. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. We're going to hop out and go back to the store one more time. How are we doing on money? 100,000 euro buffer. Okay, so animal pens, yes. Big cow pasture, yes. Land cannot be deformed here. Sure it can. Yes, it can. Give it. There it is. I think we may need to wait for our tractor. No, we can do it. We can do it here. So left control Q. Yeah. See that front bar? It's the bounding box bar, the marker bar that's in front of, like on the lowest side of the operation. Come on, guy. Get out of my way. Hopefully that's what's causing the holdup here. This went much quicker before, well, before you showed up. Everything was fine. All right. Is that it? Yes, that's what we were waiting for. Okay, so that front bar is the one that we're most concerned about, the front bar, and the one to our, like at the bottom of the screen right now. I'm not worried about deformation back here. Right? I'm going to do it. Do it? I'm going to do it. Boom. It's done. So let's get... Where is he? This guy. Well, I mean, the good thing is he's not knocking over my bales. My bales. What do you have, a bale of wool? Yeah, that's a bale. Sir, I'm so disappointed in you. Like, you had one job. That doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Right. Well, it's really going to freak out now that it's got a giant dairy to deal with. Can you take it from here, buddy? Do you think you got it? And let's go check things out. Right. Get to work. Let's go look over here. So when I tested this yesterday, as far as I know, yeah, I might have to place this again. Oh, game. So there is our poo bunker. There is our slurry tank. This is where you blow in the straw. This is water. I want to say this is food back here. And this is where you fill your milk tanker. So, that being said, let's go buy some animals. And this guy, I'm not entirely convinced that he's going to be able to make the turn at the end of the whatever. So, good luck to him. Right, here we go. Hop in cab. So yeah, that's my fix. Just to do the missions, and I don't know where I'm at with that, like morally, ethically. I really don't know how I feel about that. It feels like cheating because it's just so easy, but at the same time, it's like really boring and tedious to just fertilize fields over and over. And there doesn't seem to be a reputation system, at least not one that I've seen in any way. So yeah, okay, we're just grinding money, and I'll never do that again. I will play the start from scratch difficulty because I do kind of like the pricing. It does make it really challenging in that way, but that's it. You know, it's not, the other aspects of it are not challenging at all. So what do we have left? We have 49,000 left. You know what? Let's hit the bank right now and just borrow another, let's say another 150,000. I know it feels ridiculous to do this, but it's really not a big deal. Money is, or at least borrowed money, is unfortunately kind of meaningless. And that's, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, that was new. That was, I didn't think I cranked it that hard. I'll have to be careful going up the hill. Wow, this thing is really loose and wobbly. Alright. Let's go buy some animals. I'm being super, super careful. Because This whole apparatus feels a little bit unstable. Oi! Oh Jesus! What's the problem here? Let me try dropping this weight. Does that help any? No. That's very interesting. Okay. Sir? That's very interesting. I'll sort that weight out off camera. I know that was kind of hokey to just drop it like that, but this dolly is just unbelievably unstable. I wouldn't expect that on a fairly big tractor. T7's not a monster, but it's not, it ain't no garden tractor. It's a pretty big one. So, interesting. All right, I'm going to try it in cab. This is dicey. I'm also curious what this thing is going to feel like when it's loaded. Wee. But we'll find out in a minute. Now, I have a question. Dairy cattle are, naturally, all ladies. If we're going to breed cattle, I mean, we could just suspend our disbelief and immerse ourselves and say we have some kind of a IVF program going on. We have some kind of a you know what I'm saying? A little turkey baster thing happening. Ask your parents, kids. We could say that's what's going on. But then we also have these Brahman cattle, and are those beef cattle? I mean, I assume that they are. Do Brahman cattle make... That's from, whatever, the La Pancha one. They don't make milk, do they? They're all beef. Are they not? I don't know. Oh. Sir. Right. I have to say, I'm not entirely impressed by this dolly. I mean, I'll try to be careful with it, but it feels a little, physics feel like they might need a little bit of work on the on the dolly, man. I can't wait till this thing is full of cows. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't think we would have Brahman cattle in the United States. I'm sure you could. There's probably some specialized farm that breeds them or raises them, but I think we're just going to have black and white spotty dairy cows. I think that's how we're going to get down. So let's try right about here. There we go. Cows. We can have a brown cow. We can have brown and white cow. Black and white. Let's go 2 of those. 2 of those. 2 of those. 2 of those. How many can we hold? Well, more than this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? Livestock trailer's full. Sure is. Confirm X. All right. Carefully. I may stay third person for this because I need to see when this thing is starting to destabilize, which is really apparently all the time. You can just see it bouncing and floating back there. That is really, really goofy. I'm calling shenanigans. That seems, you know what I mean? That seems not like that. Maybe that needs a little tune-up in the 1.1.4 patch. Right, traffic looks good. Here we go. I'm going to scare the hell out of our poor cows if this thing gets all goofy and tries to turn sideways. I also need to figure out how to get this thing back into that meadow, because we're going to need to drive up through the bushes, and then we're going to need to drive along the edge of our newly planted grass field, which is no problem if we drive on it. But I mean, like, actually physically fitting this thing back alongside to get to the animal dialogue box. And we'll make it work. We'll make it work. We always do. And then that weight. Now, you saw that weight when we took it off. It flipped sideways. And that's one of the reasons that I don't like it, because it constantly flips sideways and you can't get it back on the tractor. So you have to reset it to the store, and half the time you reset it to the store, it spawns sideways as well. and you just have to keep respawning it till it lands and stays upright, and then you can hook it up. So I feel like, for me, it does better on a tractor that you hook it up to and leave it on, rather than a tractor that you may be... I'm going to go very, very slowly because this thing just does not like braking. It seems to do better on a tractor that you put it on and more or less leave it on. And since this T7 does not have a front loader, I think it may spend more time on than off. Whereas with the T6, it's a little bit too big a weight for a T6 or a Maxim anyway. But we were constantly taking it on and off to accommodate the front loader. And every time we did, it would flip sideways and just be a huge pain in the ass. So, it's a very exciting day on the farm. And that works out perfectly because we're going to need to put the bale spike on. Well, we're going to need to do a couple things. We're going to need to... Oh, sir. We're going to need to buy some bales to get started feeding our animals. So we're probably going to have to buy one straw for the floor of the dairy barn to spray in there. We're going to have to buy one straw, one hay, one silage to make some TMR. And then for grass, we did get our mower, so we're going to take one pass over some grass. We have some grass along the sides of the meadow that is grown. Obviously, the grass that we just planted isn't grown yet, so we can't mow that. But there is some grass along the verge, and we'll be able to just take one pass through there and get a couple 100 liters into the scoop and put that in the trough. So they'll have everything they need on day one to start growing. We can take the water bowser over and make sure they have enough water. So we'll get them taken care of. And I think, where are we at on time? We're at 42 minutes. So I think, yeah, on camera, I think this will be all we do as far as buying animals today. Because this is pretty tedious. In fact, I don't know if I'm even going to do this again. I think I might return this. Oh dear, oh dear. It just, it's so unstable. Yeah, I think I'll probably just buy them through the animal dialogue box. I don't know if I'll make this trip again. It's not much fun and isn't very realistic. So we got to make a big turn. We got to make a big swing up into the meadow. Hang on, ladies. Hopefully this doesn't really go sideways. Nope, we're okay. And I want to say the dialogue box to buy and sell, is right straight back. So yeah, we'll be okay getting in there. Getting out may be a little tricky. So that is the dialogue box to unload the animals. Is it not? It certainly is. So move, confirm. And there they are. Fantastic. I'll get this thing turned around because we are going to need to feed our animals. And one of the troughs is right back there. I hope that little patch in the corner turns into grass. Oh, this is not realistic. Not realistic. Yeah. So I'll just leave this here. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Physics for the dolly may need a little tweak. It seems to be perhaps not working properly. Right. So there is that. And there is that. Okay. How are we doing on time? 44 minutes. Still got a couple minutes. And I'm going to... I saw a couple little patches that the drill missed. You'll have that. So, let me hop in here while this thing is filthy. Get this thing off the field. So, water first. Over here. You know, I do prefer the drone cam. I don't know how you feel about that. I really like to see the equipment, and I really like to see the area around me as far as sort of relative to where I am. But I know it can be pretty zoomed out. So let me know what you think of that as far as what your preference is for how far zoomed in or zoomed out I am. You know I'm easy. Oh, the divots that object placement leaves is just crazy. Alright, water is, where did we say water is on the other side? Yeah, hopefully this looks better when all this grass grows in. Not quite as pronounced. Oh, geez. Alright. I mean, it's not the worst system. Okay, that's food. And that makes this water. Okay. Cool. There you go. Have a drink. Thirsty. Okay. So, I'll just leave this here. They have enough. That'll keep them happy for the moment. And it's weird because you can't necessarily see those when they have the same texture on them. In this case, grass. You can't necessarily see them. So you know, you do like what I just did. You kind of get busy, and yeah, it's just a scene. Okay. So I'm going to drop off this weight. I'm going to pick up my front loader. I'm not going to put anything on it because our straw blower that we got actually fits on the front loader. It's a very cool thing. It took me a little figuring out the first time I played with one in a test map. It took me a minute to figure out how it worked, but it's a thing, you know, like you have. Get this nice and straight in here. Hook that up. Hook that off. Right. So, turn around here. Yeah, that is... I would say that is that ironic? Or is that coincidental? We've got a huge pile of grass that I will never feed to my cows because I'm kind of a little bit of anxiety about like cross species, you know what I'm saying? Create some kind of hybrid virus, and it's like, dude, it's a game. You can't create a virus in a game. And I'm like, you don't know that? You don't know that? That would be hilarious if they had coded that in there and you did create like a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Annihilation Simulator 2019. Right, so we will, how are we doing on time? I think, yeah, but we'll call it soon. We've got water in there. I'll put some straw in. We'll call it pretty soon, and then maybe I'll feed these ladies off camera. I'll go get that weight picked up since I dropped it in the middle of nowhere. Did not help to stabilize the tractor. So I'll feed them and maybe buy another load of cows. We'll see. We'll see. And I won't need my... What do you want to call that? Is that a dairy Bowser? We've got a dairy tanker. Right, so this thing is fascinating. Probably should have put a weight on the back, but I think we'll be all right. So this thing, if you look up in the top left-hand corner where your vehicle dialog box is, it's actually got two things, right? When you hook up to it, it's got two things. If you disconnect the front thing, it's got its own little bale fork. That's nice of them. Okay, so we go here, and I'm going to buy one round straw bale. And I'm pretty sure I can pick this up without a weight on the back, but I don't know if I can pick both of them up without a weight on the back. If that's the case, then I'll just end the episode here because I did not put our weight on the back before I came down here. Didn't even think of it. You know, I get excited. I get enthusiastic. So, put this right on here. Yeah, it's alright. Can't get a ton of angle on it, but that's alright. Now this thing, as far as I've been able to find, does not open or close. It doesn't have an operating position, so you can't open it up to take the bale more easily. But basically what you do is, what you gotta do is, and again, no perspective, so I never know where I'm at. Right about there. Right about there. Right about there. Alright. Game. Oh, game. Right about there. So then I'm trying to remember what side we came into it on this side. Yeah, there's the little mounting hardware. Although, is it? No, it's only on this side. I was curious if it was rigged so that you could slide this bale spike and bracket in from either side, but it looks like it's only this side. So then you hook it up. That's a little dicey. That's a little front heavy. It's okay. We're just going right down the road. Just got to remember not to hammer the brakes, and we should be okay. We'll drive in cab just to keep ourselves legit. And it may take a minute to find this straw trigger, but it's fairly close, I want to say. Like, as far as finding it, it's not super disguised or anything. We'll get to it fairly quickly. But we'll get some straw blown in, and I don't know, you want to do food too? We've got water. We're going to put straw in. Yeah, let's do food, and that'll take us to right about an hour. Okay. Let's do it. So this is a neat little gizmo, and it is also, like you saw, 1/10 the price of the big Kuhn straw blower, and I don't know that we'll need that one. Now you saw we got the big dairy for 300K. Where is it? You saw we got the big dairy for 300,000. I don't know. I mean, it says in the notes, whatever, in the promotional whatever, it says that you can expand your farm, you can expand your dairy, you can expand your sheep meadow. I don't know if that's just like a term that they're using, right? I don't know that you can expand. I feel like they're different size units, and like whatever you, oh, that was easy. Wherever you're at, that's what you've got. So like if we built the small dairy here and then wanted to expand, I feel like we'd have to knock down the small dairy and then build the big dairy, and it would deform the terrain and everything else. I don't know that you can click the small dairy and expand it. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but as far as I know, you can't do that. So there you have it. Now we've already got a bale spike, the Stoll bale spike, the Stoll bale spike, yeah. We've already got one, and I feel like we could sell that because this apparatus has its own bale spike, and that's one less tool, right? Why is that showing a bale in there? Interesting. So if we click that right there and back out of it, yeah. Okay, so don't need that. Although we might need that in a minute. I'm not sure why that is indicating there's still a bale in there. Curious. Now, I want to check one thing. I want to hit the wrong button. I want to hit this button right here. What's the horsepower requirement for this gizmo? 90 horsepower. Perfect. And I don't know what the formula is for TMR in FS19. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. It's the first time I've done this. So we'll find out together what the setup is. Like how long it has to be mixed and what the proportions are. But we'll know We'll know momentarily. I'm going to start with 1 silage and 1 hay. And generally that will give you TMR. And then you can add straw to extend it, because straw is so cheap. But sometimes it'll throw the ratio off and you'll never get TMR. You'll get forage, but when you try to put it in, it will fill all the troughs differently. Because TMR is made of component ingredients, if it's not TMR, if it's only forage, then when you try to add it to the trough, it will add it as like hay and silage rather than TMR. I think that made sense. Right, so we're going to go here. We're going to go to bales. We're going to buy 1 silage. Oh, 2,200 euro. We're going to buy 1 hay. And, you know, we can use this for other things if we don't use it for this. So, first we're going to detach from the back. We're going to come over here and buy. We're going to come over here and pick up one of these guys right here. Just like that. One of these guys. I hope I can get enough height to get it in there. I think I can. How are we doing on time? 56 minutes. Perfect. We can get this stuff in here, get it mixed, and get it back to the farm. That'll work out great. And I want to say this thing holds just under. It's magical. It runs by itself. I want to say this thing holds 12,000 liters, just under. So again, that would be 3 4,000 liter bales to a T, but only if. Missed it completely, didn't I? How far off am I? Oh yeah, a good like 5 feet. So yes, everything will fit in there, but I don't know if adding the straw will throw the proportions off to the point that it's not TMR anymore. So let's get this hay in and see if 50-50. Generally 50-50 it likes, but you can get a lot more volume if you add that. If you add that straw bale. Right, so we got here. Turn around over here. Turn that on. Let's see what we got. So 50-50, it looks like, yeah, you seeing that? It's, oh, whatever, I'll risk it. They wouldn't do that. I mean, that's like setting you up. When you have an implement that holds 12,000 liters, and your bales are 3,000 liters, yeah, I'm gonna risk it. If I'm wrong, well, I'll just have to be wrong. Oh. So, get this in here. Oh, drum roll, man. Drum roll. Could go either way. It really could. If it does take it, it's gonna, the formula that we have, like the mix that we have, is going to be like right on the edge of being compatible. You know what I mean? Like as far as the proportions, it's going to be like, oh, it's so game. Oh, game. And is it full? Yeah, it's full. There's nothing I can do. It's a game. So let's get rid of that. Wrap my knuckles on the desk. So when we take this down here, it's going to give our cows hay and silage, but not TMR. And now if memory serves me, we'll never be able to get the proportion right, ever. Like it will fill our trough with hay and silage, but not TMR. And then we'll have a bunch of straw in here that we'll never be able to get out. And I think you can use this thing as a straw blower, but I don't like doing that. It feels kind of, you know what I'm saying? Feels a little, yeah, oh, yeah, feels a little hokey. Oh, game. And we are getting, when I'm looking at the icon down there, it is giving kind of a different icon for the fill type that we have in here. I'm not sure if it's going to give us credit or not. Hey, we haven't taken out our sign yet. Normally by this point in the episode, I've knocked over one, at least one, if not both of them. All right, where's our dump gate? It is on that side. Okay. So that is, it's around the back, is it not? Cash me outside, cash me around the back. Okay, let's head back here and see what it gives us. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's perfect. We're at exactly 1 hour. So it's a wrap, or it's going to be in a minute. This fits through here. A little bit tight, but it fits through here. So it's calling it forage, but not TMR. I'll check this first so we can see cows. Water and straw. Okay, so we need more straw. TMR, hay, silage, grass. I suspect that when we put this in here, yeah, it's jacking the straw content and then it's dropping the others. Yeah. So I think we'll let this empty out and then we'll take a look. And I think what it's done is it's added hay and silage, but none of the others. And we can't get this, what's in here, we can't get it out now. Yeah, it's, so there's no way we can empty this thing. What I'll probably do is sell it. How's that for efficiency? We'll sell it just to get the junk that's in it now out of it, because we'll never be able to get the ratio right, really, ever. There you go. That's ending on a high note. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2019, Farming Simulator 19, from Ravenport Farm on the Start From Scratch difficulty. We'll see you next time. Take care now.